Well, kia ora and welcome to the Harness Half Hour, of course proudly brought to you by Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. I'm Jess Smith, and this week on the show we talk to Ohio harness trainer Ned Hodkinson following his win with Celestial Arden at the Little Brown Jug meeting last week, beating former US Horse of the Year Wiggle It Jiggle It. Garry Tippett joins us to talk about New Zealand's oldest syndicate celebrating 50 years of ownership. Kim Walsh of Alexandra Park is with us as well to talk about Interdominion packages and hospitality. And Richard Wilson is back again with another bookie update for the week. But first, here are this week's headlines. Spankham justified his favouritism when equalling the Oamaru track record to win Sunday's Hannon Memorial. Second home was Classy Brigade and third was Ultimate Sniper. Yume Collect was scratched from the event on Saturday following a stone bruise, but is expected to recover soon. Also at Oamaru, Oscar Bonavina took out the feature trot on the card, defeating a game Winterfell who was off 30 metres. Valoria was home third, and it certainly has blown those trotting markets wide open in terms of the futures. And the NZB Standardbred Annual New Zealand Harness Racing Awards are to be held this Saturday in Christchurch. We'll have full results on our website following the event. Well, the Harness Half Hour is going international again this week. This time we're heading up to North America and the USA, and one of the big news items over the past week, of course, has been the Little Brown Jug, but there was a real Kiwi flavour there with Celestial Arden winning over the Jug Carnival, beating champion Wiggle It Jiggle It, which is huge. And owner and trainer of Celestial Arden, Ned Hodkinson, is joining me now. Ned, thank you so much for your time. And can you tell us what kind of emotions went through you when the horse was able to defeat Wiggle It Jiggle It?
I was very happy. I mean, honestly, I expected it. To be fair to Wiggle It Jiggle It, I don't think he's the horse everyone remembers him to be from 3 years ago, but he's still an extremely nice horse. And I knew Arden was in fantastic form. In fact, I had texted Judy and John Stiven a few days in advance when they let me know that Brent from Maca Lodge was going to be here to make sure that he would meet up with me so I could show him how to get to the winner's circle, because I was pretty confident we would win. However, it's nothing more fun than winning on Jug Day. I've won several races there over the years, and it's just really a blast.
Just watching from the outside world, Ned, when you see the Jug Day, the crowd there is phenomenal. The atmosphere must be absolutely electric.
Oh, it is. I'm from Ohio. My father was a sports writer. My first jug was 1973 when Melvin's Well won. I was 11 years old. And I've gone to almost every jug since then. I've missed a few due to conflicts. And you're right, there's a lot of people there. But when you live in Ohio, and you're involved in horse racing, that might as well be the Kentucky Derby. Sadly, I've yet to have a horse race in the jug, although that's a plan I hope to accomplish in the next 20 years.
Oh, that's fantastic. And as you mentioned, you had Brent from Maca Lodge there as well. What was it like to be able to give them that experience of heading into the winner's circle on Jug Day?
It was fantastic. There's nothing better than sharing experiences with people. And, obviously he did a great job whenever he broke the horse in and raised him. And what a nice guy. I'm sorry at the moment I can't remember his friend that was with him. I think it was Scott something. I'm going to embarrass myself. They were very, very nice people. They actually met me back at Celestial Arden a few hours before the race. I let him out. And we got a picture with all of us with him, and he was really happy to see his old buddy, and that was great.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long journey for Celestial Arden. He won 5 races in New Zealand, then he went to Australia and won 10 races as well. Ned, can you tell us how you came to have the horse, because of course you're his owner and trainer now?
Yes, certainly. I bought horses 20 years ago off of Leon Jordan, soon after I got married. And the last 10 years of my marriage, my wife didn't really want me to be too involved with horse racing. It was a struggle. And we started a divorce 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago. And I knew that as soon as that was final, what I wanted to do. I've got several mares. I've got 3 mares in full to Lazarus, in fact. I bought into the Lazarus Syndicate.
Wow.
And I wanted to buy some Australian horses or New Zealand horses that were racing to generate cash flow until those babies make it to the races. And I've been following racing down there. Leon Jerd had shown me how to get onto the New Zealand website and Australia racing website, which is both fantastic. They're far better than what we have in the States. And so I've been watching races. And starting back in October, we started kind of identifying horses and trying to get an idea of the price range and such. And someone else actually was looking to buy Celestial Arden and hadn't got it out. They declined it, and Leon told me about it. And I said, I want to buy him that day. And that's how it happened. Leon trains, with Anne Tritton and Carrie and Morris, not with them, but they're at the same facility, at Menangle.
Yeah. Oh, well, it must have been meant to be. And in his career so far, he last raced in Australia early this year in January. He's had 6 races for 2 wins and 3 seconds. Has he adapted quite well to the racing style there, Ned?
Yes. I was surprised how quickly that he did. Yes, he's adapted to everything. He's a very, very smart horse. Thankfully, his immune system is fantastic. But in every respect, he's adapted well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is great to hear. And the way he ran away from Wiggle It Jiggle It, it's a bit of a shame because obviously the return of Wiggle It Jiggle It took most of the attention. But have people really stood up now and taken notice of the horse?
Well, I would say yes. I mean, I've received a couple inquiries from very prominent trainers that I will not name asking if I would sell them. And I thanked them for their interest and told them that I didn't really want to sell them.
Oh, wow. Well,
I would say, he's caught the attention of some very prominent trainers.
Well, that is good to hear, and certainly great for the New Zealand breed, of course, with the likes of Sha Tin leading the charge up there and speeding spur racing in the top trotting races now. Ned, what's the next challenge for the horse, or do you have any future plans for the horse going forward?
I've been kind of mulling it over. I have another horse, my Alpha Rock, who didn't acclimate as well as Arden. He was raised harder. He came out, he stopped racing in March, whereas Arden got a break from January. He's close to racing. I was planning on going to the Meadowlands with both of them. If both of them aren't ready, I'm not sure. My hope is next year to race both of them at the Meadowlands, and if they're good enough, race them in some of the higher early closers and late closers that they have there, and hope they're good enough. I mean, that's how you find out. When you train them and kind of try to plan their races and get them to a point, you don't know how good they are until you go up against better horses, Yeah,
exactly. Well, he's certainly doing New Zealand very proud at the moment. And Ned, I thank you very much for your time this afternoon or this evening, your time, and I hope you have many more successes with the New Zealand breed. I'm sure after this interview, you might get a few people contacting you directly with horses they want to sell to you.
Well, just to share something of interest, I actually bought Fun at the Beach about 45 to 60 days ago.
Wow.
And Trevor invited me to come visit for what is it, the New Zealand Cup Day or something, November 12th.
Great.
So I plan to be there then. I do plan to look at other horses when I'm there, and so for whatever it's worth, that's my plan.
Oh, great. Okay, well,
hopefully I'll see you when I'm there. Will I be able to meet you?
Yes, you will absolutely be able to meet me. We will keep in contact, Ned, and if anyone wants to meet you while you're here, we'll make that happen for you.
That sounds good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
Time for social media news headlines from around the world, starting with New Zealand. Jeff Dunn collected his 300th win as a trainer when successful at Oamaru on Sunday with Better Get a Lover. Well done, Jeff. Also, a reminder to keep an eye on our website and Facebook for an update on the annual awards this weekend. And the world's first harness racing esports championship will be held at Addington this Friday. Register to play catch driver on course in the heats, and you could win a trip for 2 to Mooloolaba in the grand final. For more information, check out our Facebook page or website, or email me to register, jess@hrnz.co.nz. From Australia, Tiger Tara remains at a crossroads after the weekend's latest defeat. Despite being crowned last season's Horse of the Year, he's failed to win this campaign, but trainer Kevin Pizzuto claims the horse is still on the improve. For more, check out the Aussie News on our website. And from the USA, the Little Brown Jug was held in Delaware, Ohio last week. As mentioned, Kiwi pacer Celestial Arden lowered the colours of Wiggle It Jiggle It, and the jug itself was won by Southwind Aussie, a son of some beach somewhere. For more, check out Harness Racing Fan Zone on Facebook. Well, of course, on Saturday afternoon we had the inaugural Southern Owners' Day at Ascot Park, and also celebrating on that very special day was the Setarip Syndicate, New Zealand's oldest syndicate, celebrating 50 years, and Garry Tippett from Setarip is joining me now. Garry, congratulations, and did you all enjoy your day there at Ascot Park?
Yes, thanks very much for that, Jess. And yes, it was a great day. We had good numbers turn up, and I think we only had 4 of the syndicate that couldn't make it through work or holiday. So it was a wonderful day and a good turnout by all. And unfortunately, we didn't win the last race. We had a starter, but it was a good run anyway. No, much appreciated your help. Coming down was wonderful.
Yeah, oh look, it was my absolute pleasure to be a part of that and make the presentation along with the club. And can you tell us, Garry, a bit about the syndicate? Because as we mentioned, it's 50 years old, but you actually still have some of the original members involved as well.
Yeah, it was, say 50 years ago, there was a group of 20 pirates, players, ex-players, etc. of the rugby club in Invercargill who got together who were interested in the horses. And that syndicate has been kept going for this long with mainly members of the Pirates Rugby Club, be it ex-members or players. And now we have 3 second-generation sons that are involved in the syndicate. And yeah, and it's something we certainly want to keep going. We're looking at maybe growing our numbers a wee bit again because we have 2 originals, and unfortunately 3 or 4 of our older members are not very well, so we need to keep those numbers up. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is entrenched in New Zealand harness racing history, because a law change in 1969, as soon as more than 4 people were allowed to share the ownership, Setarip was set up, and of course it's named after the Pirates, isn't it?
It is. It's Pirates spelled back to front. A lot of people do ask where we get the name from. It's not a word, not in the dictionary or anything, but once we tell them, yes, the old penny drops, and it tells a lot of stories, yes.
Yeah, and of course the colours are associated with the club as well.
Yeah, gold and black, that was our playing colours up until when we combined with the Old Boys Rugby Club in Invercargill, just with numbers declining. But it's a thing that it's a legacy that we want to keep going in respect to our colours. Yes, very good.
And looking at the expenditure, your syndicate very kindly sent through a report for an article we wrote recently about Setarip, and I believe way back when it started, members were only paying $4 a month.
$4 a month, yes, that was their payment, and I think an initial payment of $5 up front for the 20 members, and then $4 a month thereafter. It has increased to $75, which I still think's good entertainment a month.
Yeah.
And we're trying to, we want to keep it at that, and we are hopefully going to have 2 horses within the next 2 weeks, and we've got a bit of money in the bank, so hopefully we can just continue with what we've got as far as we don't want to increase the money if we can get away without the syndicate's input, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And of course you've supported many local trainers. You've had 11 trainers over the years, and you do like to spread it around, don't you, and support them all?
We have in recent years, or in the earlier days more so, and the later part of it, we've been sticking with Clark Barron, and Ken and Tony both drove for us the odd time. And now we've got, and Ron, the father of the 3 boys, has been in a syndicate for, I think, 40 of those years. And now Ron's granddaughter, Ellie, obviously has been driving for us too. So the Barons have been a big part of that syndicate.
Yeah, oh, that's so great. And it's really nice when you can trace it back through the generations now. And you guys seem to have been, over the years, quite a social syndicate. You have a lot of outings and get-togethers as well.
Yeah, not so much of late. In the early days, yes, there were. They were sort of monthly meetings that dragged on for all the early hours, of course. But of late, because people can get the races on their phones and whatever, we don't generally get as much to the races as we used to. But that number is rebuilding again because we are sort of revitalising it a wee bit as far as and making sure we will pick people up and take them to Gore or Winton or wherever the races may be.
Yeah,
because we inform everybody with emails, etc., where the races are, and so everyone's very well informed. And we have around about monthly meetings, and we sort of plan things a wee bit from there also.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's great. And I'm sure you'll have plenty of people wanting to jump on board with Setarip being New Zealand's oldest syndicate and the amount of prestige and history associated with the group. And, of course, you've had 18 individual winners and very good success with the likes of Quality Time and Old Gold and Black. And, of course, Black Ops, as you mentioned, who raced on Saturday.
Yes, that's right. And, Black Ops is probably one that has been a bit disappointing. We had 3 seconds in a row last season, and I believe we could have won any of those or all 3. But we're going to probably stick with them a bit and just see what comes.
Yeah. And lastly, Garry, for those who may be in a sporting group or maybe they've got a group of friends and they're thinking about getting involved in a syndicate, would you recommend that they go out and do that in terms of a social and camaraderie side of things?
Oh, absolutely, and it's not hard to do, and it's not expensive. It is a fun thing, even a workplace group to get together, team and soccer team, it could be a cricket team, anything like that. It does keep, friendships alive, particularly if, when you get a bit older, it happens quicker than you really think, and it's good to keep in touch with these people, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, Garry, congratulations to you and the group. As I say, it was a pleasure to be there to see you celebrate, and you did it in style on Saturday. Thank you very much for your time, and here's to many more winners for Setarip.
We'll certainly be trying, Jess, and thanks to the HRNZ for their support last weekend.
Airpark Canterbury is Christchurch's only 24/7 privately owned off-site airport car parking. If you feel strongly about supporting privately owned business, support Airpark Canterbury. It's only a short drive to the airport in the Airpark Canterbury free shuttle. So if you want the cheapest parking option around, try Airpark Canterbury. Call 0800 Airpark or online at airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
Well, time now to turn our attention to the north, and of course everyone is so excited about the Interdominions series returning to New Zealand, this time in Auckland in December. Kim Walsh, who is the Sales and Marketing Manager at Alexandra Park, is joining me now. Kim, thank you so much for your time, and I guess for you and the team it's only going to start getting busier and busier.
Absolutely, it already is starting to feel that way.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And of course, Interdominions, the hype is only going to get bigger as well. But have you had quite a few people inquiring on how they can be involved in this?
Yeah, we certainly have. There's a lot of interest, especially internationally as well, of people wanting to come and get their tickets sorted and get their flights booked and be part of it, which is really great to see.
Yeah, of course, grand final night, Saturday 14th of December, and it also coincides with Christmas at the races, so that's great news for people who are wanting to book tickets, not only for the grand final night, Kim, but also around the heats as well.
It absolutely is. Christmas at the races has got a lot of its own elements, like Santa already on site and with our DJ as well after the last. So we have already got a really great event, and we're making it even better this year with incorporating the IRT into Dominions, which will offer even more for the guests that are coming on site during that period.
Yeah. For anyone in the North Island or around Auckland, Kim, that is looking for something different for their Christmas event, then certainly the races, most of the entertainment sorted for the night and everything else the team can cater for. So it seems like a really simple but I'd imagine popular way for people to celebrate.
It absolutely is, and we see over 12,000 people coming through over that period. Wow. And they all have such a fantastic time and, come back again. So we're really excited that this year we can give them an even more premium offer by having this championship as part of Christmas at the Races.
Absolutely. Okay, so that is, the grand final was mentioned Saturday 14th of December. So Christmas at the Races, there'll be packages available through the Interdominion Carnival itself. So make sure you check that out, alexandrapark.co.nz. And of course this week, Kim, Tie Night, and that includes an amazing prize as well. It's not too late to get tickets?
No, it's not at all. We have flights for two to Bangkok for one lucky attendee, so it's definitely worthwhile coming along and being part of as well.
Yeah, okay. And these theme nights, as they suggest, there's different ethnicities covered, so quite often the food is matched and it's a great opportunity for people to just have a different flair to their race night experience. Yeah,
absolutely. So Tie Night is definitely based around a Thai-themed buffet, which has always been really popular in the past. We have another event coming up called Pacifica, which is based on our tropical night that we've previously run, but that has been given a bit of a Euro-Pacific fusion on the menu, which we're really excited about, and it's got a few people excited to see what's on that menu as well.
Oh, fabulous. So, Kim, if anyone's wanting to book, whether it be Interdominions, Christmas at the Races, or Tie Night coming up this week, or Pacifica Night, what is the best way for people to book or find out more information?
The best place for people to book for Interdominions is id19.co.nz. That will take you through everything that you need to know about the racing, what's on, including the social events, which is the welcome cocktail party and the barrier draw brunch. Also has information about accommodation, sponsorship, merchandise, anything else you really want to know about Interdominions is all on id19.co.nz. If you're after any other tickets to any other event, including Tie Night, Pacifica or Christmas at the Races, then go to alexandrapark.co.nz and check out our What's On pages.
Fabulous. All right, well, be there or be square. Make sure you get in early because, as Kim mentioned, very, very popular, these packages, especially around December. Kim Walsh, Sales and Marketing Manager at Alexandra Park, thank you so much for your time and all the best to you and your team. I know you're going to do a fabulous job again.
Thanks so much.
Hi, Razor here from Canterbury Rugby. When you need airport parking, choose a team that's on the ball. Meet at Airpark Canterbury and get their free Mercedes shuttle to drop you right off at the terminal. Airpark Canterbury have the cheapest 24/7 airport parking and you'll never get left on the sidelines. Give Airpark Canterbury a try, airparkcanterbury.co.nz.
There's always a park for me at Airpark Canterbury.
Well, of course, a weekly feature here on the Harness Half Hour. We're catching up with bookmaker Richard Wilson. And Richard, the week that was, how did it pan out for you and the team?
Well, it was another week with plenty of well-backed winners. So punters definitely had the upper hand last week. They kicked off on Thursday night at Addington. Plenty of good bets there to start off. The biggest collect came from a $10,000 bet on Coanescent at $1.35. Other big wins, $4,250 on Arden Roanoke at $2.70. There was $1,600 on the General at $4.50, $1,000 on Matuatana at $6, $2,800 Scorcher at $3.80, as well as a couple of $2,000 bets there at $3.10, and $600 on Kiwis are flying at $8. Thankfully for us, there was a few big misses as well. $5,000 in the first on Frank the Tank at $5. There was $5,000 on Vacation Hill at $3.80, $2,000 on A Delightful Act at $2.90, and another $5,000 at $2.50. $5,000 on Questor at $2.50, $3,500 Stickman at $2, $5,000 Sweet Loress at $10, and $5,700 on Better Than Fast at $2.10, and another $5,000 at $1.85, and another $3,000 at $1.75.
Okay, so it looks like you dodged a few bullets at the end of that meeting, but of course it was only the start of the racing week. So what about Friday night? Did you have much luck there?
Yeah, it was a little bit tougher for punters at Auckland on Friday, but not much really. And we were on the back foot early. It was the best bet there, $3,000 on Young Conqueror at $7, easily the best bet. Better Start Dreaming, the big mover on the night in the feature, $700 at $4.80, the best bet on him, and he closed off at $3.10. Not quite taking favouritism, but very close to it, and he got home well. CK Spur also well backed in the trot, $2,000 at $3.80 there, $1,000 at $3.50, and a couple of $900 bets at $3. A few big bets went our way, thankfully. $5,000 on Mac Power at $5, a couple of $2,000 bets line up at $1.90, $1,500 Star Galleria at $7, $6,900 on the Devil's Own at $240, and a $3,000 bet Cloud Break at $150.
Okay, and from Auckland we headed to Invercargill. Beautiful day down there at Ascot Park. I had the privilege of being on course, and it looks as though there was a bit of movement there in the markets.
Yeah, there was a couple of really big movers and a few short price winners as well. They were doing the damage there on Saturday. Donegal Mary Francis got punters home in race 7, 4,400 on at $1.90. A couple of $5,000 bets at $1.75. Very good bets there. Kingmaker, the other one, a couple of $1,000 bets on him at $1.70, but there was a whole stack of multis on him as well. Down East Arizona early on, the big mover, opened at 81 and closed off at 26. The bets there, $35 at 81, $35 at 51, and a couple of $50 bets at 31. So when they're that sort of price, yes, you don't need a lot to collect a lot. And there were plenty of $5, $10 bets there as well. So very bad result there for us down East Arizona. And the other one that punters were cheering home, Carlos Bromack, 500 at 650, 850 at 5, $900 on at 460. The best bets there, but there's some decent top 3 bets as well, just to run a place. 3,000 at 2, 4,600 at 165, 4,500 at 150. So no fun for us that race. And there wasn't a lot going for us, but some that did. 4,400 on Kick Up Your Heels at 165, 1,500 on Terror the Christian at 230, 4,000 on Right You Are at 270, and 2,000 Albajacker at 3.
Okay, so you were able to turn the page and head up the road to Oamaru the next day, but it looked as though there were a lot of short-priced winners there for multi-punters.
Yes, some very short-priced winners there, Jess. The Pernin Rasmussen juggernaut is well and truly rolling now. Oscar Bonavina, $1.07, pretty sensational, winning the trot there. Taxman, $1.10. Better Cover Lover, not from them, but got home at $1.35. And Italian Lad, quite sensational, $1.45 into $1.30 on debut. Came from a mile off them at the top of the straight and got home. So, yeah, we're on the back foot there. Multi-punters just lapping it up. Bit disappointing for the Hannon. You may collect scratch for the Stone Bruise. Hopefully that's not too bad. Just sort of builds the anticipation now, I guess, to the Canterbury Classic in a couple of weeks. That's shaping as a great race there. Interesting that the Hannon, in the Hannon, the biggest single bets were all on Ultimate Sniper. 2,000 at 550, 2,500 at 370. There was 1,000 on Spankham at 175, the biggest bet, but multi-punters clearly were Spankham. The worst race for us there, race 3, Alyssa Delight, $10 into 5. There was 500 on at 10, 750 at 5, the biggest bets, plenty in between. So very bad there for us, race 3. Excuse me. Other good collects, 200 each way, Lady Hillary at 12 and 330, 100 each way on Red Harbour at 34 and 6, and $1,000 bets on Stun Gun at $2 and $1.95. Of the misses, there weren't too many large ones. $1,000 on Megapixels at $2.90, 1,000 on Touche at $8.50, 1,500 Christina Maria at $4.60, 1,200 Don't Look Back at $15, 1,600 and a couple of $500 bets, Maria Serena at $5.
Okay, and from the race meetings themselves, you found a beauty of a multi for us this week.
Yeah, Brendan Burns not too happy with me here. He's going to bear most of the brunt of this. A $25 5-leg multi at the Greyhounds on Thursday night there at Cambridge. Kamada Park at 16 kicked it off. Native Scout $1.60 to run the top 3. Stefano $2.80 also at the Cambridge Greyhounds. And then they went to Auckland Trots. Better Start Dreaming. They got the opening price there $4.80. And ended off on Spankham at Oamaru $1.75. So for the $25, they collected $13,396.90.
Oh, that is absolutely outstanding, and a beautiful piece of cross-coding there between the Greyhounds. $16 winner that was inspired to start that off, so well done to that punter. And the worst cash-out option of the week, Richard?
Yeah, a multi on Sunday. $17.40 spend. 4 Greyhounds at Manukau. They were prices of $3.80, $3.40, $3 and $1.40, and ended on Italian Lad at $1.35, or had Italian Lad in it at $1.35. So that would have returned $1,275, and they did all come in. But for some reason, they cashed out for $353 before the last leg, which was Last Star, one paying $3 at Manukau, and it's won pretty well there by about 3 lengths.
Okay, so they'll be regretting that, of course, the worst cash-out option of the week. And futures-wise, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, you've been very busy getting these markets out. How are they looking now with the performances over the weekend?
Yeah, all the feature trot markets have really become it looks like a two-horse race now. Sunday Sun, 20 cents shorter in most of the markets than Oscar Bonavina. And then there's a decent gap back to the rest, I think $9 or $10. Majestic Man might be the third favourite in most of those. Spankham is into $3.40 in the New Zealand Cup. There was a $1,200 bet on him at $3.50 before the Hannon-Win. Tiger Tara, the biggest drifter there, he was $6, he's now $9. Pretty lacklustre run on Friday night. And we've just this in the last half hour opened a future market test. Number of Group 1 wins trained by the Purdon Rasmussen team for the rest of the season. So from now until the 31st of December, we've got a line there, 8.5 wins. So you can get on that if you think they're going to win more or less than that. You can have a crack at that.
Okay, tab.co.nz. So that's for the rest of the year, is it, to the end of December?
Yeah, there's 12 Group 1s. We've got them all open, so we supposedly know the chances. So we've come up with a line of 8.5, and punters can have a go there under or over that many.
Perfect. Okay, tab.co.nz. Well done. Make sure you check that out along with the other futures markets, top 3 futures wins and pre-noms as well. Week ahead, it seems busy enough.
It does. My old hometown there, Winton, get a Thursday meeting, so that's nearly finished for me. Addington and Auckland on Friday. The Spring Cup looks a beauty there at Auckland, full field. We haven't seen that for quite a while, so that'll be a good one. Motukarara on Sunday with the Basements and Trotting Cup. And just a note, Jess, on Saturdays at 2 o'clock now, we're opening the Sunday harness meeting, so you can get in early for the Sunday meeting, multi it up with the Saturday one or the gallops, whatever you want. 2 o'clock every Saturday, the Sunday meeting opens.
That is fantastic news. tab.co.nz once again, 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoons for those futures markets. Richard, thank you so much. You and the team keep up the good work.
Yep, very good, Jess. Thank you.
And in what's coming up this week, harness racing wise, on Thursday we've got the Twilight meeting with Winton. Friday, Alexandra Park with the double header, of course with Addington. At Alexandra Park the feature is the Spring Cup, and don't forget at Addington we've also got the Catch Driver Championship to be held between races. And on Sunday we've got our first official grass track meeting for the season with the Banks Peninsula meeting, of course the Cup feature on their card. And that's it for this week's Harness Half Hour. Thanks again to Airpark Canterbury and HRNZ Marketing. Don't forget the Harness Half Hour podcast is available on the HRNZ website, Harness Racing New Zealand Facebook page, via the Punters Lounge, which is on tab.co.nz, and you can also find us by using Spotify and iTunes. We'll catch you again next week.